Hello, and welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be talking about exchange rates. So, exchange rates are one of the useful everyday things that we have to learn in maths, because we all want to go on holiday, want to go abroad. Sometimes we might have to change the currency that we're using when we go abroad, and we have to see what the exchange rate is going to be, or look at how economically our unit of currency might be doing against something else. And so the way we're going to do this with all of these exchange rates is that in the question they will tell you the exchange rate. So they might say that the exchange rate from pounds to dollars, so from pounds to dollars, is that £1 is equal to $1.32. Okay, and now what we might need to do is, let's say we were traveling from the UK to America, we would have to convert something from pounds into dollars. And now the way that we do that is if we recognize that we have £1 is equal to £1.32. For every £1 that we have in the UK, we have $1.32 in the US. So that means that in order to convert from pounds to dollars, we have to actually just multiply our value of pounds by 1.32. But then let's say we finished our holiday in America, and now we want to come back and we want to get all of the money that we haven't spent in America put back into pounds so that we can put it into use. So if I want to go from 1.32 to 1, it means anything to get back to 1, I divide by itself. So I'm just going to divide by 1.32. And this is our exchange rate. And so from here, they could give us any value. They could say that they want you to convert maybe £200 into dollars. And we know that the conversion rate from pounds to dollars is multiplied by 1.32. So we just take the 200 times by 1.32, and then you put that into your calculator, and it gives you that would be equal to $264. We could do the same coming back. We might say that we have, we want to put $50 into pounds, and all we would do is do 50 divided by 1.32, and that would give you £37.88. Now it's important, this number that's on the calculator currently is 37.87 recurring. Okay, so when we're working with money, we always want to round to 2 decimal places, because if we have any more than that, we have to have like half of a penny or something like that, which we don't have. Okay, so this is your exchange rates. We can take another example. It doesn't have to be dollars. Let's have a look at a rupee, for example. So £1 is equal to 48.30 of a Mauritian rupee. So if we wanted to convert from pounds to rupees, we'd be multiplying by 48.3, and if we wanted to go backwards, we'd be dividing by 48.3. And the same will occur for all of these exchange rates, and you always have this same, as long as you can draw out this kind of cycle between the two currencies, then you will always be able to convert from one to the other. In questions, they may ask you to figure out which country it's cheaper to buy a specific thing in. So you might have to, they might say that this person buys a hat in the UK and then they go to Paris and they buy the same hat for a different price, where would it be cheaper for them to buy it from? And in order to do that, you'd have to know the exchange rate, and then from the exchange rate, you're just going to convert them both to be the same currency. So I would recommend read the question fully through, because at the end of the question, they'll usually say, give your answer in pounds or euros or whatever it might be, and then you'll know that you want to convert all of your currencies to that currency. And after that, you just apply this method of figuring out how you convert from one to the other, and then you can solve that question. Okay, so this is exchange rates. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Hello, and welcome to this exchange rates practice exam questions. We're going to go through 3 questions, varying difficulty. We're going to start off with a moderately easy one, and then we're going to get a little bit more tricky and try and get to a higher level with these questions. So let's start with this first one. So Margaret is on holiday in France. She buys an English newspaper. The cost of the newspaper is €5. So this is important. In England, the cost of the same newspaper is £2.50. The exchange rate is that £1 is equal to 116 euros. Work out the difference between the cost of the newspaper in France and the cost of the newspaper in England. Now, the way you want to go about this is try and keep one of them the same. And whichever one you want to keep the same, try and make it the easiest one. It's usually whichever one is set to 1 equals something. So in this case, it's pounds. We want to make everything into pounds because it makes it a lot easier. Now, this exchange rate allows you to not only convert from euros to pounds, but from pounds to euros as well. So you could do it the other way if you wished. But I would just say it's a little bit easier to just convert everything into pounds in this case, because then we don't have to change this 250 up here. So if I wanted to convert from the euros into pounds, to go from 116 to 1, I have to divide by itself. So that means that in order to convert from euros to pounds, I have to divide by 116. Okay? So now I want to convert 5 euros into pounds. So I'm going to divide by 1.16, and that gives me 4.31 or £4.31. And so in England, the cost of the newspaper is £2.50. Now, if we want to work out the difference, we're just going to take £4.31 minus the £2.50, and that's going to give us £1.81. And this is the difference in the cost. So all we did was find the cost of the newspaper in France in pounds. Then this is the original price in England. Take the difference and we get our answer. Okay, now let's go on to a little bit of a more challenging one. So we have 3 companies sell the same type of furniture. So the price of furniture from Paul's in London is £1,480. The price of the furniture from Jardins of Paris is €1,980. And the price of the furniture from Outways of New York is $2,250. Now I've been given these exchange rates, so I'm going to write these out more explicitly. So £1 is equal to 134 euros, and £1 is equal to $152. So again, because this is in pounds is the one, we want to convert everything into pounds. So to convert from euros to pounds, we divide by 1.34, and to convert from dollars to pounds, we divide by 1.52. Therefore, the price in London, so I'm going to write these over here. So the price in London stays the same, so that's 1,480. The price in Paris is going to become the 1,980, but we want to convert from euros to pounds, so we're going to divide this by 1.34. So 1,980 divided by 1.34 gives you £1,477.61. And then finally in New York, it's going from being 2,250. We want to convert that into pounds, so we're going to divide it by 1.52. And 2,250 divided by 1.52 is equal to £1,480.26. So now we have our three prices. We can then say which one sells it at the lowest price, and that's going to be Paris, because we have 1,477 rather than the 1,480s. And so Paris, we want to write a sentence. So Paris sells the furniture at the lowest price, just to make it clear to your examiner. That you know exactly what the answer is. So you could underline this a bunch of times, but I think writing a sentence at the bottom is probably the clearest way. So for the lowest price. And then this way, even if you've taken loads of time and done loads of workings out and they're all over the page, as long as the examiner reads this, they know you got to the right answer, and then they just have to pick out where you're getting your marks from. So it makes it just a lot easier for you to guarantee your marks if you write a sentence at the bottom. Okay, now this is the hardest one that we're going to go through. So in the UK, petrol costs £1.24 per litre, and in the US, petrol costs £3.15 per US gallon. Okay, now that we've been given some exchange rates, you'll notice now we don't just have the exchange rates of pounds to dollars, we also have gallons to litres. But the exact same rules apply, and we want to know, was petrol cheaper in the UK or in the USA? So again, we're going to have to convert everything to be one specific unit. I'm going to say we're going to go, because this is pounds, we're going to keep everything in pounds, but because this is in pounds per litre, I'm also going to make this the litres one instead, just to make it consistent. So that means that I don't have to touch this £1.24 at all. I just have to work out what $3.15 per US gallon would be in pounds per litre. So if this is, so this means that we have $3.15 is equal to 1 US gallon worth of petrol. Okay, but we know in this exchange rate that 1 US gallon is equal to 3.79 litres. So this would be $3.15 is actually the same as saying 3.79 litres of petrol in the USA. And this is kind of a instinctual thing that we've done to say that these two things are equal. But if you wanted to be explicit with the exchange rate, you could say that in order to get from US gallons to litres, I'll do this on the top to stay consistent, I'm just going to multiply by 3.79, which is exactly what I've done here. Just multiply by 3.79. Okay, so this is now £3.15 per 3.79 litres, but we want it to be per 1 litre. So now we're going to divide by 3.79, but whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So we're also going to have to divide this by 3.79 to get just 1 litre. So this is going to become 1 litre. So the reason that I have changed, so this one, I didn't have to do anything to this side, because this is a quantity here from gallons to litres, and so the amount of fuel that you're getting, it hasn't changed. Okay, so the volume of these are equal, so the amount hasn't changed. But here, when I change it from being 3.79 litres to 1 litre, I'm now having to pay for less fuel, and it has to be less by the same amount. So this is why I have to do this one to both sides, but I don't actually have to change this gallons and litres, because the amount of something I'm getting is exactly the same. So if I do 3.15 divided by 3.79, I get that this is the same as $0.83 dollars. And now I want this to be pounds per litre, so I need to now see that 1 pound is equal to $1.47. And so that means that in order to exchange from dollars back to pounds, I'm dividing by 1.47. And so I'm going to do that here. So to get it into pounds, and on this side, it's going to stay the same as just 1 litre. So the amount hasn't changed, but I'm going to change this into divide it by 1.47. And if I divide that by 1.47, I get that this in America is 0.57, so 57 pence per litre in America, which is much cheaper than it is in the UK. Okay, and so we'd have to write a sentence that petrol is cheaper in the USA. Okay, so now those are the 3 exam questions that we're going to look at for exchange rates. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.